Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Chaotic Syndicate Multiverse Gaming Podcast, Episode 3. This is a big discussion that I have on my plate right now, and it is the state of the PlayStation DRM situation that just was announced by multiple sources in the gaming community. And I feel like this is a deja vu scenario of what Don Matrick had was going to do with Xbox, but didn't fall through, thank God. But with me,
Yeah,
as always, my friend Darth Nebru, host of the
yo,
Darth Nebru podcast. Go show some love to him. Go shout out the channel, and then we're gonna get into this discussion.
yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't heard or haven't seen the social media feeds as of yet, it feels like PlayStation just had an announcement out of nowhere. No announcement, no thing being said about this, just sneaky under the radar tactic that you bring this DRM situation into play and it's affecting certain PlayStation owners. It didn't affect all of us yet, but it's probably going to somewhere down the line if you get the update before March. But what is going on in the state of gaming now?
Uh, I think the state of gaming's on its way out. Um, Most people are saying to go backwards. Some people are
And I
saying
feel like I see a lot of people they're saying either get a gaming PC or go get the favorite system of your choice, whether it be PlayStation 2, Nintendo 64, Nintendo, you name it, regardless of the circumstance. But it feels like gaming is going in a different direction that even I don't understand the technology that they're bringing to the table. Prices are going up at an all-time high. I mean, just today, as this was going on, PlayStation just so happened to raise up their prices to their PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro and the digital console. And I'm just like, you're going to get people to go get an Xbox before you know it.
basically,
What up? Shout out to my friend Ray in the chat right now. Yeah, we're just talking about the state of the PlayStation DRM situation, Ray, if you don't mind. But this is kind of the craziest scenario, even with the fact that you just had PlayStation announce the age restriction situation where you got to verify your age before you log in. That's kind of
I think
crazy in itself. It
I
seems like
think
a
that's a
lot of
government
strict
thing.
things are going on the PlayStation end, and Xbox is just cool, calm, and collected too.
Well, I think that some of this has to do with the government.
I'm not putting it past that. I'm not putting that past me. The thought neither.
I think that with the government, with all these age restriction bullshit going on, not that it phases me, it doesn't, but just as a whole, um, something needs to be done.
Exactly. And it's like a lot of gamers, I feel, are trying to make that initiative stand to make a change for the way gaming should be, but it's not working to the best of our ability and what we say and what we do. So it's like, what more can we possibly say that's going to change the narrative?
There's not much we can.
I mean, That is a fact because what if we try to change anything within the structure, that kind of defeats the purpose of gaming as a whole. I mean, looking at the way everything is now with how we play, the high prices of games, everything that's going on, it's like there's a sign that's happening.
Yeah. And it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
I agree because here's the big factor that I say is the problem. There's not enough people that's standing up for the good things that gaming brings versus what people are demanding in gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, we used to have gaming that was very fun, atmosphere, can play with your friends in the same area.
Yeah.
Arcade used to bring attention. It feels like once they went to this online aspect, where did it go wrong?
Just that. It's exactly that, the online.
Like the online factor, even though it's supposed to bring people together, don't get me wrong, but it's also killing the whole narrative of what is to expect gaming should be. I agree, CJ, 110%. I agree with that 110%. Rich people who want to ruin our gaming lives.
Basically.
And that's a whole point in itself because I think as much as these companies get money for everything, it feels like behind the scenes they don't reveal everything that's coming to these consoles in these updates.
Nope.
That's probably the one aspect that is the killer of gaming.
They'll tell you what they want you to know.
Exactly.
And it's our job to figure the rest out.
Exactly. Because it's like we always wondered why we get these short mini megabyte updates when we don't know what's in these short megabyte updates that's coming to the system.
Exactly.
Like you rarely see a gigabyte update when you least expect it.
Yep.
So it's like, how is it so ironic? You could look at a PlayStation update, you may see a gigabyte here 1 minute, megabyte 1 minute, then it goes to like something smaller than a megabyte, and I'm like, hello, where is all these updates coming in from that's making sense?
Yep.
But I don't see how we're supposed to be a big fan of the game and what no matter, and I'm not one of those console war people regardless of the matter. I'll play I'll play any console that's in front of me, don't get me wrong. But it comes down to the fact of we have a very stingy, greedy group of individuals in gaming as communities that don't seem to understand everybody has to enjoy the game platform in front of them.
Exactly.
Don't you start those shit, CJ.
Don't
But
do it.
that's not like at the end of the day, like the state of gaming is so bad right now that we don't know what's positive and what's good coming out of it.
Yeah.
Like I know you've had your gripes and concerns with certain things going on, but This is kind of crazy.
The only question is Xbox gonna stay their ground, or are they gonna follow the lead?
Exactly, because if Sony is in the process of doing this DRM situation right now, what makes you
Or
think that Xbox ain't doing it low key behind our back and not making
well,
no announcements about it?
what I'm saying is they might test the water.
I mean, right?
But I'm sure if Xbox knows what's good for them, they learned their lesson from 2013.
Down backward.
Yeah. TV, 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 DRM. TV, 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 DRM.
Like, exactly. We could not escape.
This
Like, it
also
was so
makes
busy that you had to talk about it, and we didn't have the technology to talk about like we do now.
well. Here's the funny part. Okay, this makes that PlayStation showcase from 2013 look like a joke now.
It does. It sort of does. Like, no excuses at all. Like, it really blows it off the frame with everything that has been revealed today.
Yeah, pretty much.
And everything that has been revealed today, man, fans have been talking crazy, like outright.
And that shit ain't for the better either.
I agree, CJ, 110%. PlayStation needs to quit being greedy with everything.
Yeah, it's actually their fault. Like current gaming is doing what they're doing.
It's like when
Fundamentally their fault.
Xbox breaks out and does something positive for the fan base, Sony looks at it negative.
Yep.
I agree with you 110%, Ray. You deserve the system that you have the most fun on. And if it's PC, have fun, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like have fun on the system you enjoy the best and make the best fun out of it. If you got the games you want on there, go for it.
Mm-hmm. That's what
Like
I'm waiting for. Yeah.
we I don't knock or discriminate where people play their games at. If you have fun over there, have fun doing them.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the signs of why these companies are doing what they're doing behind your back.
Yep.
That's like watch the signs. Like if they're doing DRM now, what makes you think they're not going to do something shady elsewhere to ruin the system more?
Exactly.
It don't make sense as to why Sony has to do these things behind our backs, and everybody's a fan of. And you brought the fan base together at one point, but now you want to do a complete 180 to ruin your system.
180 my foot. It's more like a whole 365.
Like your systems was never DRM protected in the first place. Like no system in general that I've heard of has ever been DRM protected,
Mm,
if I'm not mistaken.
it's hard to say. I haven't seen one that really has been full DRM. So
Right. That's I'm just stating that in general because I never really seen the full ran DRM system, gaming system at all.
we,
Period. And
and
I'm
that's
just
why there's so much pushback because no one wants to see it.
it's almost like what was that incident that happened a while back when the 360 was out? Oh, like they wanted the Connect to be hooked up at all times. That was
That
like the
was
same similar scenario with
no,
what's going
that
on
was
now with
Xbox
PlayStation.
One. That was Xbox One in 2013. That was the Xbox One in 2013.
Like every fan was so curious, cautious on that. I mean, nobody wanted to buy the Connect system.
And they took the pushback and they got dropped that in 2015
Mm-hmm.
and they got rid of the DRM.
Exactly.
And that's actually what hurt them for the most part. Maybe this is time for Xbox to really bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
Take your throne back. Do what you gotta do.
And if that means getting back to being exclusive with certain games you had, go for it.
I don't think they're gonna go to the exclusive, but what I do think is they're gonna try and not have it be put on PlayStation, especially if that DRM is true.
That is true.
They'll put it on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, they'll put it on. Obviously, it's going on an Xbox. That's not, and they're gonna put it
Mm-hmm.
on. They'll put it on Steam or some type of computer based thing. Hell,
Exactly.
all they need to do is put it on Steam, Epic, and Ubisoft launcher and all the third party stuff, and
Like
then
once everything goes the way that it goes there,
have
you
it be
got a
on
good
off their
chance.
app, have it be off their app, and then
But like
boom.
my friend CJ said in the chat, I think they need to leave stuff alone and worry about how to fix the world being peaceful. And then he said his Super Mario Sunshine was his favorite game.
Yeah, well, we can only figure.
We can only do what we can do
Yeah,
to basically help the narrative grow.
yep,
It's not too many things that can go in the way of where what needs to go.
yeah,
Because we don't know how gaming is reacting nowadays, okay? Gaming is so fickle nowadays that fans can go in so many different directions. It's crazy.
mm-hmm.
And what makes you think nowadays fans are going to agree when it's needed?
Mm,
But
exactly.
in most cases, we can't sit up here and all we gotta do is play it by ear and see if Sony addresses it at some point after all the speculation going on today. But I hope that this is not a thing. This would be a very bad look for Sony if this is real.
Well, Sony's making some poor decisions anyway.
Agreed.
Actually,
Agreed.
I'll take that back. More than some.
I mean,
They're king of bad decisions lately.
I ain't gonna hold you because everything that we've seen from Sony these past few weeks or so has
Is
been very bad decisions.
and it's so anti-consumer, it's obnoxious.
I mean, the whole thing that they pulled off with Xbox trying to get Activision, that's a whole different story in itself. The whole situation that they're having right now with Bungie, which is crazy,
Yeah.
outright. But yeah,
Well,
these incidences don't come without consequence and talking.
Bungie's kind of. If we're gonna bring Bungie into the category here, they're hurting themselves. So
Agreed, agreed. I mean, that it ain't too much that we could say on Bungie.
I mean, Bungie hasn't been Bungie
And CJ, you
since
just made a good point there.
2001.
He said, I think Sony needs to buy license from Nintendo so we can play Mario games and Zelda. That's going to be a tricky thing, but I wouldn't put it
No,
past. Like, even though Sony did try to work with Nintendo, but it failed miserably.
just no, not nowadays. Sorry, CJ. Disagree with you.
Like, Sony and Nintendo did have a partnership at one point, but Nintendo wanted so much out of it, but they kind of couldn't see eye to eye.
I mean,
So they went their separate way.
this shit's not 2006. This is 2026. Sorry. This is not the same Sony as it was back then.
This ain't the nice Sony that we had back in the day.
Yeah,
This ain't
but
PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 Sony.
hot take. PlayStation really needs to watch their step because they're really gonna fall if they
Agreed.
keep and whoa, you can rely on your TVs and shit to bail you out. That's great, but your gaming division's gonna collapse.
Before you know it.
And
I
there's only
mean,
so many times you could take money from your TVs that you sell and your stereos that you sell and so on.
you're closing beloved studios that fans appreciated and valued.
They closed Blue Point Games, the I don't know PlayStation All Stars team.
Mm-hmm.
They closed the PlayStation All Stars team, Blue Point Studios. What's next? You gonna close Naughty Dog? Don't
Are you
answer
gonna
that.
close the Insomniac Studios?
Yeah.
Like, what's
What
your
are you gonna
next
do?
move?
What are you gonna close Insomniac? What are you doing? Or the people that are making God of War?
Right.
You're gonna shut them down too?
But that's kind of like, but they got to make better decisions to overall improve and show the fan base that you care. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight.
No.
I'm not saying it's going to happen within a day or whatever the case may be.
Hell no.
But Sony needs to show the fan base that they care.
Like, do
And if this
something.
is the way you're showing the fan base that you care,
It's not working.
it's not working. Like, Xbox only raised the price of their system one time since the standard price tag. You
Yeah.
basically bumped your price up in 3 different occasions, and you want to have people pay almost $1,000 for a PlayStation 5 Pro?
Well, see, Microsoft was gonna do the same thing, and then they had pushback, and then they didn't do it.
Like that, they saw the fan base reaction for what that Xbox is going to be, and then that kind of settled down.
Yeah,
Now
it
look
did.
at you, PlayStation. You got the greed. You're on the greed side, trying to get every little nickel and dime you can. For what reason?
Well, we'll see.
You're not struggling like that. But hell, it goes to show you how much greed do companies have nowadays.
Yeah, you don't want me
And
to
this
answer
is,
that.
and if I'm not mistaken, this is Sony's new leadership without the guy that left.
Like I said, you don't want me to answer that.
Nope, I don't. Now I already know exactly how it plays out. Like, don't nobody need to answer that question.
Because you know I'm gonna be savage motherfucker if I answer that.
Oh, I already know, and like everybody needs that harsh reality to really see what the gaming world is bringing them.
And I don't feel like being savage
Like,
at
you was
12 o'clock at
already
night.
in a pissed off mood when we did part 1 and 2, covering the whole aspect of the guest character situation. I don't want you to go back down that road again.
Well, first of all, it is 12 o'clock.
But we might just end it here, and then if I get any more updates or reports, I'll come back in and hit y'all with a part 2 of this. But
Yeah.
the next episode that's coming up after this, and I will say this, the state of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is going to be the next video on hand, so stay tuned for that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
But this is Chaotic Syndicate Multiverse Gaming Podcast, and we'll catch y'all on the next one. Links will be provided below, but keep the thoughts going on how y'all feel about the DRM situation in the comment section.
Yeah, because this is like needs to go.
Yep. But we out of here, ladies and gentlemen. See ya.